Hi everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook process video. I hope you guys are all having a good day. On the screen there you can see that I have a sketch, and this is the sketch I'm going to be playing along with today. This is a sketch by Paper Issues. One thing really quick, I'm just going to say on my desk right now I do have 4x6 photos. I am going to reprint those to, I think it's 3x4. I'm pretty sure that I did 3x4. And I know smaller photos are not everybody's thing, but for me, they just worked. I just wanted to really play with the sketch, and these are just simple, silly little photos, so I didn't feel like I needed really big, bright, in your face photos. Um, However, you could easily make this sketch work with 4x6 photos. You would just have less like room to play on the actual layout. Anyways, that sketch by Paper Issues, I've trying to do this voiceover a few times now, so I don't remember everything that I said. But I have been absolutely loving their sketches lately. I've been kind of busy working on, clean my collection cleanup and working with sketches with some friends. And now I'm working on Christmas cards as well. So I haven't had a lot of time to play with a lot of their sketches, but I'm really, that's on my to-do list. I'm kind of excited about it. And I believe they release a new one each week, by the way, if you are interested. So I am using I believe it's called Let's Go by Simple Stories, their collection. This is one of those collections I think I may have bought it to do my Spend Less, Scrap More a long time ago. Then, health reasons, like I actually was going to restart my channel, I don't know, about 3 or 4 months before I did. But with, yeah, like I said, with all my health stuff, it just kind of got delayed. So some things that I had plans for kind of didn't make it. There is one thing that I'm going to have coming up here that you will see pretty soon, that I was actually going to do this year, but it's going to be for next year. Um, and then I have one really exciting thing. I'm not going to mention anything, but kind of a really fun layout idea that coming up. And I'm not really sure how I want to record it, but me and my friends came up with it together, and I'm really excited to share that one with you guys. Um, Anyways, I'll go back to this layout. How about that? So here I have cut my photos or reprinted my photos to 3x4, and I am going to pretty much follow this layout or this sketch exactly how they have it. Well, not like exactly, but fairly closely to how they have it on the sketch. Um, so that leaves a lot of white space, and I'm not afraid of white space whatsoever. I am going to also kind of ruffle up a lot of elements that I add, like the photos. I'm going to map my photos with 2 different pattern papers. Oh, I was talking about this collection. So I actually don't have a lot of pieces to this collection because I did buy it for Spend Less, Scrap More. And I think the reason I didn't end up doing a Spend Less, Scrap More is because I got a little bit more than I usually do with that. Like in the past, I've just gotten like the sticker sheet and a few pieces of pattern paper. So I would love to know if for my Spend Less, Scrap More series, if you really mind, I mean, I know it's my channel and ultimately it's like whatever I do, but I want to show you guys, I've been having trouble finding collections to use for it because it's either I want to buy too much of the collection or I just can't find enough. And so I'm trying to figure out how to make that work. But that's definitely a series that I would like to bring back because I had a lot of fun and I got stuff really used up and right away. So it was a good series to do. Um, but going back to this collection, I didn't have a lot of pattern paper. When I pulled out these photos, I did know that I wanted to mount the photos with that kind of what do you call that? Grid? It's not grid. The pattern paper that I mounted the photos on, I knew I wanted to use that because it pulls out a lot of the colors that are in my photo. The other thing I've done so far, you saw me map my layout. I have stitched, which you can see the washi tape strips holding down my stitching threads. So I did stitch around the whole entire layout. That has been one of my absolute favorite things to do is stitching. I highly recommend anybody try stitching. It's so simple and easy. As Becky Adams says, it's the cheapest adhesive you're ever going to find. She's not wrong. Um, So I did do that. And before I put my photos down, I knew that I had this stencil, and I believe this is by Echo Park, and it's just got all these fun arrows going in all different directions. So I'm just going to use my pewter ink that I'm also inking the edges of like my white cardstock background. I don't know if I inked the edges of my photos because a lot of times when I distress the edges of something, I won't add it also the inking as well. Um, so this sticker piece, this little border sticker, I am also going to distress the edges of this one. This one was a little more tedious to do. Lucky for you guys, it sped up, but it didn't take too long, and I'm glad that I did it. It just kind of adds a little bit more interest to the layout. So I do put the arrows down in a few different locations. I have it in the top right where I know a cluster is going to go. I have it in the bottom left where I know another cluster is going to go because that's the way it is on the sketch. And then I also have it where down below where the right photo is going to be. So the arrows are going to come out. I kind of wish at this point, or when I got further done with the layout. Oh, really quick, I want to show you what I'm doing here. I wanted to add a strip of another piece of pattern paper above that little border. Just, I don't know, just to add a little bit more interest. And then I didn't have any pattern papers I noticed that weren't like a map like theme that I hadn't used already. And so I ended up finding that it's like their journaling card sheet with a bunch of different journaling pieces that you can trim apart. That little yellow striped um, piece of pattern paper. So if you're looking for a little something extra, don't forget to look at your cut apart sheets because sometimes there's pieces on there that you can use. Anyways, back to the stenciling. I kind of wish that maybe I had not added the stenciling to the bottom right of the photo and maybe more kind of above that photo just to kind of keep it in line with the way the sketch is. But I do come back and I add some more stenciling above the left-hand side of the left photo at the end of the layout and a little bit above the right of the top right of the right photo uh, to kind of bring it around. But that is the only thing that really kind of throws me off with this entire layout is that those arrows being at the bottom right of the page. So if it matters, I know with mixed media though, that it's good to be a little bit open with what it turns out. Like mixed media, you're definitely not going to get the perfect results. Like it's supposed to be messy, right? So when I do mixed media, I try to remember that and just have fun playing. That's the most important part. So I'm going to play with this cluster here that I'm going to add above the right photo. I'm going to play with that one a lot. I did cut down that journaling piece that said packing list because these are photos of us getting in the truck ready to go on our summer vacation. Um, I really wanted to add some more foam stickers. I have just been absolutely loving their foam stickers, but I'm not going to be able to get any more of those on there other than I do add an arrow foam sticker to the layout. And one of there's like these really cute little quote bubbles with hearts in them on the foam sticker sheet that I'm going to end up using one of those. And they are so cute, by the way. Um, I also really like them because in my project life, I will save quotes. Like if one of my kids says something really funny, I will go and add it to journaling in an app, journaling app that I have. And then when I go to do my project life, I will look to see if there's any quotes. So I think those foam stickers will be absolutely super cute for that. So I have this little car piece here too that I thought was super cute, but not something I would normally use. But I decided because again, it had the suitcases on the top of the car, and yeah, we're in a truck. It's not the same thing. Doesn't bother me. I thought it would be a cute little element to go on this layout as well. So I did decide that having the full sticker on the page was going to be just too much. So I went ahead and I just trimmed it and cut it off. I think I even saved the other part of the card if I case I possibly wanted to use it somewhere else on the layout. But I end up not using it on this layout, but I'm pretty sure I might still have it. I don't know It's such a small piece of it. I don't know if it would work anywhere else, but hey, you never know. Um, so I did add that car there and I really liked the way it looked. The other thing with the car though is that it does cover up, or my cluster down below ends up covering up quite a bit of the stenciling that I did. So you don't see a lot of the stenciling down in that corner. So I wish I would have maybe planned that out a little bit better. But again, I just had fun playing with this layout and I love how it turned out. So can't complain, right? And I'm just trying to use, like I said, I didn't get the ephemera. So all I really have is, I did get the journaling ephemera. I should say that because I thought it was really cute, which is where that packing list came from. So I did get the journaling ephemera, but I figured all I really needed was, there was a lot of airplanes and we don't fly a lot. And almost every travel collection has airplanes, which is totally fine. Um, but I think that's why I didn't get the ephemera pack, was because it was a lot of airplanes and yeah, anyways. So there was also this map, and again, you're going to see me play with that cluster quite a bit. I knew that I wanted the packing list there because I just really thought I thought it was really cute. I do like the way the cluster is going up here in the top, so I'm going to go ahead and again, going to trim off, I think that piece was from the journaling ephemera, this piece that I trimmed down here. Um, I liked that it brought that teal color up to the right hand side and into that cluster. I thought about that tag, trimming down the tag. There was this date little piece, I believe that was also from the journaling ephemera. My biggest thing, again, I didn't plan it out. I find a couple other things to go in that cluster because I bought the puffy stickers for this collection as well. So I have puffy stickers in each of the, um, what are they? Clusters. Sorry. I add a puffy sticker to each of the clusters to bring that around. So there's 3 puffy stickers. There's actually more than just 3. Um, I added a foam sticker in each of 3 different areas to bring that texture around. And I also, in the end, I don't think I do it on video, but in the end, in the still shot photos, you can see I added some enamel dots in 3 of the different places. And I'm also trying to bring the color around. So I have the blue arrow down in the bottom by that car. And when I say blue, I kind of mean that teal color. I have the teal color around both of the photos, and now I also have the teal color up in the top right. So when I'm working on my clusters, I really try to mimic the other clusters. So like I mentioned, I'll have the puffy stickers all around and this color all around and that color all around. So just some things to think about. The other thing, sometimes I'll add foam. If I add foam tape under something in one cluster, I try to also add foam tape under another element in another cluster. Um, so I hope that helps all of you guys a little bit when learning about clusters. So the map that I added above the packing list, just letting you know, I also added foam tape under that. And I added the soda because I drink soda. I like my Diet Coke. So I went ahead and added that in because a lot of times we'll get lunch and that's what I'll drink on the way. So for me, that goes with my story pretty well. I'm glad that was kind of one of the elements. The other thing that I did, and I think maybe, I know I saw my stamp pulled out. I have some of these Ellie Studios. They're like different word tabs, like springtime tabs, or I don't know. They have so many. I don't even know how many different ones they have. But I went ahead and I'm going to pull the stamp out because I felt like it really needed something more, and I wasn't finding what I was looking for in the stickers of the ephemera that I had. The other thing I'm going to pull out is I did another layout that I scrap lifted somebody, which you will see when I do my layout share. Um, and they used a bunch of these license plates. So I fussy cut a bunch of these license plates from one of the pattern papers. And that is what I'm gluing down here. And that's another reason I kind of got some of this collection, is because I loved the layout and the license plates. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a license plate into 3 different sections. Now, the license plates that I add the one on the bottom left and the one on the top right are paper. And the third one I add is a puffy sticker, but it's still the image of a license plate. So it still helps to bring that third item in. So I am going to pop that up. I did pop up the this way with my foam tape. I use the 1 millimeter. Is that what it is? The 1 mm? Assuming it's millimeter, but I'm so not good with math. And math and measurements are the same thing when it comes to me, but I I always use the 1 millimeter. Very rarely, I do have some of their 2 millimeter and some other adhesive that I bought somewhere that's like in between the 1 and 2. It's not my favorite. The 2 I don't really mind because sometimes you just different levels of dimension work really well and make it look really cute. But I have really just been the 1 millimeter when it came out became my new best friend. Um, So what I was saying about the date circle that I added to the top right and not planning ahead is because I really left just the teeniest, tiniest amount of space to write the date in. And you could easily leave this layout without it in there, but to me that looks a little funny. So yeah, I just hand wrote it. I couldn't get my date stamp in there. I tried looking at all my different roller date stamps and none of them would work. So just maybe pay attention. Like me, like I said, I was just having fun playing. So I really just kind of was like, oh well, it's glued down now. But that's what definitely scrapbooking should be about as well, because it's just about enjoying and having fun. And I hope when you guys scrapbook that have, that you just enjoy the process and don't worry about everything being perfect. So here's where I'm finally using the LA Studio stamps. I'm stamping "Here We Go" and "Destination Found" underneath the title. Up in the top right, I stamped "Go See Do" and "Packed and Ready." And then in the bottom left, I stamped "Getaway" and "Favorite." I keep wanting to say "packed" because I keep looking at the packing list word. So that is another goal of mine, not only to use my metal dies on a lot of layouts, but to also use my stamps and get them used up a little bit more. So, oh, and then I also did stamp a couple of these little tiny geotags that was part of the stamp set. I couldn't get that one to work in the middle cluster, but I'm not so worried about it. It you know, I have so many trios of 3 around the layout that if I don't have 3 of everything, it's going to be just fine. So there's a close-up photo of a couple of the clusters and then the end result as well. I hope you guys like this layout as much as I do, because I really do like it. And I shall see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.